We're now uncovering new information about a local businessman who was reported dead in Venezuela but was found alive and put in handcuffs in North Carolina this past weekend. Jose Lantigua used to run Circle K furniture stores here in Jacksonville. His death was reported 2 years ago, right around the time his business went under financially. He's charged with fraud. Federal agents caught him and his wife near a home she owns in Sapphire, North Carolina. Court documents obtained by News4 Jax show Lantigua used stolen identification to apply for a fraudulent passport last November. Federal investigators used facial recognition software to uncover the deception. Channel 4's Haley Winslow is joining us now live outside the Duval County Jail, where Lantigua's wife has just been transferred from St. Johns County. Haley, why the transfer?
Tom, because this is where the crime was committed. She was brought in for questioning in North Carolina, released, and then arrested at her home in Ponte Vedra. Then they transferred her here today. She's on $200,000 bond, charged with 8 counts of insurance fraud, and will likely make her first appearance in court tomorrow. I spoke with the founder of Circle K Furniture to find out more about Lantigua and his scheme. On Jones Road in Marietta is Circle Bar K Furniture, run by Jim Kittrell, a slightly different company than the one he founded in the early 80s.
I seen a man selling furniture on the side of the road, and I stopped and looked at it, and he seemed to be doing very well with it.
He opened his own in a spare room of his wife's feed store, and it grew from there. When his wife died about 15 years ago, he sold Circle K to his kids, who ran it for about 5 years and sold it to Jose Lantigua, who opened a second store on Southside. In 2013, he reportedly died on vacation in Venezuela of a heart attack from complications of mad cow disease. But federal agents were hot on his trail. Under new identity, he and his wife were hiding out in a house they had bought in Asheville, North Carolina. When he tried to apply for a passport, U.S. State Department officials flagged him for using a name already on file. And on Saturday, surveillance caught him and his wife in their Jeep.
I am surprised that he did something like this, because he was a very gentle man, very gentle, a very nice person to talk to, considerate.
Lantigua was arrested wearing a wig and a, quote, poorly dyed beard. Coming up at 6, I talked to a prosecutor who gives us a little bit better idea of how he was caught. Reporting live at the jail, Haley Winslow, Channel 4, the local station.
Haley, how exactly did facial recognition software lead to his capture?
Well, he was using the name of Ernest Wills, Tom, and that was an African-American man who was already in their system. He also listed his wife as his emergency contact. So when they got a little suspicious, they started looking into it and used that facial recognition software. They were able to find out about some suspicion of whether he was really dead or alive, put his house under surveillance, and then caught him. Tom?
Fascinating, Haley. Haley Winslow reporting to us live from downtown.
The odyssey of Jose Lantigua not only covered 2 states, but 2 countries as well. Tom, the odyssey of Jose Lantigua not only covered 2 states, but 2 countries as well. It was 2 years ago when Lantigua reportedly left Jacksonville and was in Venezuela, where he reportedly died of a heart attack. Now, fast forward almost 2 years, Lantigua was arrested this past weekend by federal agents in Asheville, North Carolina. His wife, Daphne Lantigua, was arrested at her home in Ponte Vedra Beach. And as Haley just told you, Daphne Lantigua is now in the Duval County Jail. We did some digging and wanted to show you a timeline of what's happened with Jose Lantigua. In 2008, he bought the Circle K Furniture business on Jacksonville's west side for $4 million. 3 years later, a second store opens on Jacksonville's south side. Then, April 17, 2013, Lantigua reportedly dies of a heart attack at age 60 in Venezuela. A death certificate is issued the next day there in Venezuela, and it contains a notice that his body was cremated. Months later in June, both Circle K stores close. Now, November of 2013, Hartford Insurance Company files a motion in court saying Lantigua is not dead. They also refuse to pay the $2 million claim filed by the family. That brings us to this weekend's chain of events. Lantigua was arrested by federal agents in North Carolina. His wife, Daphne, then arrested at her home in Ponte Vedra Beach on 8 counts of insurance fraud in Duval County.